Hello, Manu, and welcome.
Hi.
What's your role at ING? Are you on the development side or on the operations side, testing side?
No, I am on the development side. I am the IT specialist, dev engineer.
Okay. And how would you define DevOps? Do you see it as a team, a culture, a philosophy for improving the IT services?
Yes, it is, I think, a culture which has to be adopted at the organization level and not just at the team level or the project level, and not even at the product level. I think it's the whole organization has to develop the culture for supporting the DevOps way of working. And it's a continuous process. It cannot be done in one day or overnight. It's not that you just send a mail to an organization that tomorrow is a DevOps day. It's a continuous process, and I think ING is applying this and adopting to this new way of working. I see changes on a day-to-day basis and year-to-year basis, that how they are adopting the culture and taking benefits out of it.
Right. But how important is teamwork to a DevOps environment and for teams?
It is very essential. It is the core concept. To have DevOps working culture is that you have autonomous teams, and the end-to-end responsibilities lies within the team. So it cannot be achieved without the teamwork. You have to have the teamwork and the trust in the team that they can handle it.
Right. And a question, why do you think DevOps is such a hot topic? Why are all multinational organizations, everybody so interested in DevOps right now?
I think it's the fast delivery and the speed they require. If the outside environment changes faster than you can deliver, then the end is near. So it is very important that you deliver fast, you deliver according to the customer, you adapt to the customers. The market is very fragile, it's ever changing, right? So if you don't adapt to it, you lose the race.
Right. So today we're at the Xavier offices here in Hilversum in the Netherlands, and the whole ING team is here taking the DASA Fundamentals course. What do you think of it so far?
It's very knowledgeing, and from my personal experience, I have learned a lot from this training. The way of thinking, how I can improve. There's a continuous improvement personally and professionally, and how can I adjust myself to this DevOps culture, which is being applied by ING. So it is very good and enriching.
Great. Well, it sounds like ING is really out there driving their IT transformation and adopting DevOps. So I'm just so pleased that you took a moment to speak to us today. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Our pleasure. Hedda, what's your role at ING? Are you on the development side or the operations side?
I'm on the development side. I'm a dev engineer.
Okay. Well, then you're the right person for me to ask this next question. How do you feel? How do you define DevOps? Is it a team? Is it a culture, a philosophy?
I'd say it's all of that, really. I mean, it's definitely a cultural thing. It's about taking end-to-end responsibilities. It has to do with setting clear priorities. But it's so it's culture, but obviously it requires certain organization as well, and it's everything really.
Okay. And how important is teamwork to DevOps?
I would say it's essential. I mean, the whole the essence is that you have relatively small teams that are able to take end-to-end responsibility, and you can only do that if you have really, really good teamwork, because no one can take end-to-end responsibility by himself, of course. Right. So you need to be able to rely on your colleagues, and you need to trust each other. So you have to work together. You have to help each other out, and that makes it much more fun as well.
Yeah, so it's really a part of the culture of working and
that's just the essence, I'd say. Yeah? Absolutely. Yeah.
And why do you think DevOps is such a hot topic today? I mean, suddenly everyone's talking about it. Everybody wants to do it.
Well, of course, I mean, it's fun. It's fun, it's out there, it's sexy, that's absolutely important, but I think it's also something that we need to do. I mean, the whole world is changing, definitely for banking. Competition is increasing. There's a lot of non-banks, all these fintech companies that are out there, and they're delivering value to their customers at enormously high speed. And just look at Apple and Google and those kind of companies. And our customers are just expecting us to be like that as well. So they want us to be responsive, fast, out there. So yeah, it's just a change we have to go through, and it's fun, but it's very challenging, definitely.
Yeah, I totally relate to that because I do now most of my banking on my phone. I haven't walked into a bank in a long time.
Even I haven't been in any banking office for over 2 years, I think.
So those applications are really important,
absolutely.
But they really enhance the quality of my life because it's always on.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Another question that I had for you is, are your clients asking you more from you in terms of service, digital services? Are you hearing that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's simple things like, customers don't expect, paperwork anymore. They expect emails or SMSs or WhatsApp or whatever. They expect us to be available 24/7. If they have a question, they want to have it answered now, not only during office times. But also, they're expecting answers that they get from banks to be swift and to be reliable. Right. So human error should also, we should really try and avoid that. And then there's also, of course, the cost aspect. I mean, having lots of people doing a lot of hands-on work is just really expensive. So if you can automate it, please do.
Right, excellent.
Yeah.
So I'm here with you today in Hilversum at the Xavier offices, and you have the whole ING team that are taking the DASA Fundamentals course. Yeah. Tell me, how do you like it? The good, the bad, the ugly, it's all okay.
Well, it's really nice. I mean, you can tell. I mean, these are a bunch of really experienced people, so you get a lot of really smart questions, and I think the training is giving us a lot of answers to questions that we've been having for quite a long time. So you can see people are getting enthusiastic and saying, yeah, that should really, they can really help us. Working in teams, having small iterations, things like that really works well. At the same time, obviously, there's a lot of worries also. I mean, is the world can understand what we're trying to do? I mean, you can say I'm end-to-end responsible, but of course, I mean, ING is a really, really complex organization. Also, our IT is really complex, so you can never really end-to-end responsible without, having to work with all kinds of other people and other teams. So are all those other teams also going to be as agile as we are? Is our management going to understand this? Right. Because, some of the, not all management is like IT people, so right. Will they understand what we're trying to do? So there's also a lot of worries, but overall, I think, people are really interested and really enthusiastic about it.
Yeah, well,
it's really cool. Yeah.
It's really wonderful to see ING that's out there leading the charge and really embracing the concept and transforming themselves to take advantage of all this great stuff in the digital age. Yeah. I'd like to thank you so much for joining us, Hedda. Thank you. Good.
Well,
Sarah, before you, if you had a potential client sitting on the fence about investing in the fundamentals training, what would you tell them to convince them of the value?
I think I would tell them that really, as they probably can see for themselves as well, is that the world is changing, and a lot of our business is changing, and it's a lot of it is being fueled by IT. Of course, you have the obvious examples of it, like the Facebook, the Uber, and Spotify, and the Airbnbs, etc. But those are IT companies changing the way that we used to do business. Right. And to all the way in the top, there are IT business involved, all the way to the board of directors. So, and these organizations work in a fundamentally different way than we are used to in traditional organizations. Right. So I would tell them to at least follow the training and also all the way at the top. To get a glimpse of what they're up against in order for their organization to keep up with these new type of IT companies. If IT, if change on the outside is faster than change on the inside, you're having a problem. So
Right.
think for yourself if that's the case.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, the Xavier team is really passionate about DevOps, and you're passionate about DASA as being a part of the development team, building the competency model. Why are you so passionate about DASA? Why are you so passionate about DevOps?
Well, first of all, I like to be working with innovative ideas and innovative things. So I'm passionate about it because this is one of the first trainings, you know, really providing the whole spectrum for, as where it goes for teaching other people about what DevOps really is. So for me, it's really a challenge. You know, I'm working on the front line. But the second part is I also like to change things, and DASA really gives me a place or a handle for me to change things in the way that business is conducting its business nowadays. So that's why I'm really passionate about it.
Well, I love your passion, and thank you.
Okay.
So now we're going to do it for real.
Now we will. Now I'm going like.
Now we're going to do it for real. Would you like some water? Can I get you?
I got
oh, you
some,
have some?
thanks.
Okay. And I think one of these are mine. Maybe I think this one. I think it doesn't matter. Thirsty. Okay.
Is it a one take or is it a complete?
Yeah, we just
Or going to chop?
We will cut it out.
we
cut
will,
it out,
we will
yeah.
cut aspects of it because we'll be using the video in different ways.
Yeah.
So we might make snippets that we use for social media. We might run the whole video from start to end
Yeah.
and put it on SlideShare, YouTube, out there to help build the awareness.
Okay.
But you are perfect. I mean,
Okay.
you're perfect.
Sounds good. Okay.
So I've been calling you Michelle, but it's Miguel.
It's Michiel actually.
Michiel.
But then you will break your
Michiel.
tongue, so you can call me Michael.
Michael. I'm going to try Miguel.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
That's good. All right.
Ready?
Yeah.
Well, hello, Miguel.
Hello, Deborah.
Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'm really happy to be at your beautiful offices here as you're conducting the DevOps Agile Skills Association Fundamentals course, the DASA Fundamentals course,
Yeah.
with ING Wholesale Banking.
Yeah.
So I just want to ask you a few questions. You've delivered the DASA Fundamentals course several times now. What type of reactions are you getting from the participants?
Well, it's a very complete course. It's a lot to take in. So people see, you know, DevOps is not only about one topic only. It's about organization, culture, automation, processes, measurements, etc., etc. So in the 2.5 days that we're sitting together, it's a lot for them to take in. But at the same time, I really see that people are really interested as well. Ask a lot of questions and really see the value of what DevOps is all about. Basically.
Okay, so ING Wholesale Banking is here today, but what other types of organizations are you working with or that are signing up to do the fundamentals training?
Well, ING, of course, is a bank. But we also do a lot of companies in the financial sector. We do in the consultancy sector because those are the companies advising the organizations in our country. And in telecom sector.
Okay.
And basically, these are the organizations that that really see that they need to change something for them to be able to reduce their cycle time delivery of their products.
Okay.
So these are the organizations that understand that they need to do something in automation, need to to change something in the way of working, and also need to do something in the organization as a whole about how they organize their teams and how they will work together.
Okay.
And those types.
So what type of individuals are participating? Are they just DevOps engineers? Are they operations managers? Are they testers, product owners?
Well, the thing about DevOps is that you work as a start, that you start working in multidisciplinary teams. So there are many types of roles that are part of those teams. So I would say that although I see a slight tendency against to the technical roles, I also see a lot of roles which are more related to the business, like program managers, project managers, but also business analysts, etc.
Okay.
And I think it should be like that because we want to broaden the view that people have working in a DevOps-like organization.
And really for the fundamentals course, it's very good for people that are new to DevOps to get a feel for what it is as well, I would suspect.
Yeah.
Have the folks that are taking the DevOps fundamentals course, have they taken other DevOps training in the past, or are most of them taking it for the first time?
Yeah, some of them have like technical, for instance, technical trainings for automating their software delivery pipeline, or technical training for test automation. How do you implement that? Mm-hmm. On the other hand, for instance, also Scrum training. You know, really process-like training. Yeah. But none of them really had the full scope of every single aspect that is required to get this culture of people focusing on product responsibility and customer-centric action. Okay. So they've done parts, and they are familiar and aware of parts, but this DASA training tells them how it all clicks together, basically.
Okay, very good. And how do you conduct the training? And how active are the participants in the training?
Well, it's a lot, fundamentals, as I said, it's a lot to take in. So there's a lot of information sharing from my side. There's a lot to tell. There are a lot of topics to talk about. So the fundamentals training is not as engaging as you see sometimes in other trainings, in Scrum trainings, for instance, where people start doing things themselves. Right. Instead of that, we move this to the practitioner module, which comes after the fundamentals module. Mm-hmm. So in the fundamentals module, you get to hear everything there is to know about DevOps. Okay. And on top of that, practitioner module will be more of a training where you do things, where you work together, where you form groups and start to work as product teams delivering value to your customer. Okay. And when you come on the top of that, that's the specialist areas, the level 4 basically. Yeah. That's more aimed towards software delivery, software craftsmanship, containerization, cloud, but also enable and scale. How do you apply DevOps principles to an organization as a whole? Okay. And specify and verify. It's another specialization there. So as we go up, you gradually start to do things yourself. Right. And we're now in the fundamentals training where we really explain to people what it is all about, all the architecture and all the things.
Okay, excellent. So if you had a potential client that was kind of sitting on the fence about investing in fundamentals training, how would you convince them that they should try it?
Can you repeat the question?
Certainly. Yeah? So if you had a potential client kind of sitting on the fence about whether they want to invest in doing the DASA fundamentals training, what would you tell them to convince them of the value of the training?
Well, I would tell them that basically the way that we do business nowadays it's shifting. It's changing than from when we did back in the days traditionally. So there are a lot of IT companies out there changing the way that we do our business, basically. Mm. And these IT companies have like IT people all the way up to the top, to the board of directors. Mm. So they know what it is about to really change our business with the help of software. Mm. You know, it's really being fueled by software. So what I would like to tell these organizations is that be aware of the fact that you need to change something in your organization to be able to compete with this new type of organizations which are really focused on using software as a competitive edge, basically. Right. And DASA will help you to understand what these fundamental changes are and where they need to start at to be really, how do you call it, anti-fragile towards these organizations that are changing our ways. Right. And
Excellent. Yeah. Well, you know, the whole Xavier team seems to be so passionate about the DevOps movement, so passionate about DASA. You are all a part of building the DASA competence model. Yeah. Why are you so passionate about it?
Now, first of all, I like to work with innovative things, and I like to work on innovative ideas. So, working with DASA, developing this training course as well, helps me to still be working on these innovative and cutting edge ideas and technologies. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, I like to be able to change things, to change the way that we are working. Mm-hmm. So for me, working with DASA enables me in a way to do new things, right. Cutting edge ideas, mm-hmm. and change help organizations to become better and to be competitive towards other, like I said, IT type organizations. And you know, if change from the outside is faster than change on the inside, you really must, as an organization, start to think about what do I need to do to be able to keep up with these new disruptive ideas.
Right.
And I think this DASA DevOps training really could help them to achieve that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Miguel, I love your passion.
Okay.
And from a DASA perspective, we absolutely love the work that you and the entire Xavier team are
Okay.
doing as forerunners and as people that are helping drive DASA forward. So thank you so much.
Nice, you're welcome. Yeah.
Thomas, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
I really appreciate being here at your beautiful offices in Hilversum and attending the DASA Fundamentals course with the ING Wholesale Banking team. So welcome.
Thank you.
I want to ask you some questions in terms of the training. You've delivered several of these DASA Fundamentals trainings now, and what type of reaction are you getting from the folks attending?
Well, in general, the first reaction I get, wow, there's a lot of knowledge, and there's a lot of knowledge being transferred, and we learn a lot from these courses. And they're also impressed with the wide area of subjects we're covering. It's not just a technical IT course, or it's not just focusing on a methodology or just a little aspect of IT. It really covers IT from a whole perspective, being DevOps, and how you can tackle that, and how you can implement DevOps in your organization, as well as what it implies to be a DevOps engineer in an organization.
And what types of organizations are taking the training? I know today we have banking, ING here, but...
Yeah, well, we see typically larger organizations like ING attending the training, but we also see system integrators and consulting companies who just send their consultants to our training.
Okay.
So it's nice. You get a different kind of interaction.
A different mix of people.
Yes,
in
absolutely.
different areas. Okay. And what type of folks are showing up? Are they primarily DevOps engineers, operations testing, any managers?
Well, actually, it's quite a wide range. So, well, we're used to IT. We have different specialties like testers, operations people, developers, but also project managers. And service managers and all other kinds of roles we have identified in IT. And we kind of see people from all these different roles attending the course. So
Okay, fantastic.
it's very nice, and especially when there is a mix of people, it also really contributes to the interaction and the discussions during the training.
Yeah, I think that the powerful teaming is really great as they learn. And have most of the people already had some form of DevOps training before they came here, or are they new?
Well, really it varies. So I think really the first course where we did, the people did not have a lot of background in DevOps or some of the principles and practices of DevOps.
Yeah.
But other groups, they're a bit more experienced. But still, the experience tends to be focused to just one area, which is covered during this training. So.
Okay, very good. And so what is their impression of the DevOps Fundamentals course? And you can tell me the good, the bad, the ugly, I want to hear it all. What are they saying to you?
Especially they learned something. They like the broad concepts of it. And they sometimes during the training, and this is a 3-day training course, but over the 3 days you notice and you also get the feedback that they really start to understand and comprehend what DevOps is and what it's about.
Right.
And that it's also really different from traditional way of working and a traditional way of organizing IT.
Yeah.
So that's very nice because that proves that they are really getting a lot out of this training.
Yeah.
That's very.
It must be very exciting
nice.
because being one of the people that's helping to actually build the content of the training, to see that it's really resonating with people must be very, very great.
Yes, indeed. And I'm very happy with this training.
Yeah, I can imagine. And how do you conduct the training? Is it with the classroom? Is it active? Is it? Yeah. How does it look like?
Really, I believe the strength of the training is also the discussion with the participants, and not just a discussion between the trainers and the participants, but also among the participants. And that's why it's especially nice when there's a mixed group of people coming from different roles and backgrounds. And we tend to provide a training, just go through the materials and just have open discussions throughout the training.
Do they debate if you have someone coming from ops and someone coming from dev, and they're debating which part is which, or
yeah, there will be debates. We also like to use examples from experience, and people can relate to that, and they come with their experiences, and it gives a very nice interaction. And if the interaction is going, it's kind of a natural flow throughout the course. And we actually skip specific exercises because we know it's already covered in the discussions throughout the training.
Yeah, it must be powerful to see the people coming together. That's great. So if you had a potential client that was kind of sitting on the fence about whether or not he should have his team invest in the fundamentals training, what would you tell them to convince them of the value of the training?
Well, the value really is, if you're a client like a bank and you're about to embark on a journey towards becoming an anti-fragile DevOps organization, it's really a Kickstarter for your people to attend this course to get a full understanding and a kickstart towards the transformation of your organization. If you're a consulting company, it's also a very powerful training for consultants because they will be able to provide much more value add to the clients where they are engaged in IT consulting assignments.
Wow, great. You know, the Xavier team is so passionate about DevOps. You're so passionate about DASA as a forerunner and also being key to building the competence model. Why are you so passionate about it, Thomas?
I really like the way of working, the empowerment part of DevOps, and actually a lot of the ideas and principles of DevOps we also practice within our own organization. So it's actually quite close on what kind of organization we would like to be and how we would like to operate. So.
Wow. Well, I just want to thank you, Thomas, and thank the Xavier organization for having DASA here today and to take a look at this training. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. You're welcome.
So, Rick, first, thank you for hosting us here at the Xavier offices.
My pleasure.
Beautiful offices and having the opportunity to participate in the DASA Fundamentals training.
Yes.
One of the things I wanted to ask you about were the DevOps principles, right? Because there seems to be a lot of different DevOps principles out in the market floating around, things like PALMs and others. But DASA focused on 6 types of principles, and why is that?
Yeah, they're not fundamentally different from the others. CALMS is, for example, one that is infamous because of Gene Kim and other gurus in the field. It represents the main themes around culture, automation, sharing, etc. What we really did within DASA is focusing on the organizations, their struggles, and the individuals in those organizations. And from their perspective, the principles we at DASA established speak a bit more about action, behavior, and aspects of their day-to-day work. So this is how we try to phrase them. For example, the customer-centric action is typically an example of focusing on delivering value as fast as possible to your end customers. Something that somehow over the past decades we forgot a little bit, especially from IT. Who are the end customers and the users you would like to have some delight and would like to help? And this is fundamentally important to survive in this digital age, because all those startups are teaching us that an app can replace your whole business if you don't watch out. And customer-centric action is therefore imperative to understand and have these short feedback loops.
I like that courage to act and innovate. That piece really struck me when I saw that.
Yes, it's a fail fast methodology, which is also from the Agile and Lean movement an often heard phrase. It's important to understand that customers, like with an Apple iPhone, for example, they don't mind all too much that certain features in an app are not working all at day one, but they do expect nowadays that if there's some extra features wanted or something breaks down or some bug is introduced, that it doesn't take months but literally minutes or days before it is fixed. Right. And this short feedback loop and this focus on the customers and what they like and dislike, this brings us to a more product thinking kind of way instead of focusing on processes and internal stuff. And getting products, also minimal viable products, as soon as possible to your end users and learn from them, that is takes some courage. It takes courage from Apple to take away the microphone jack. Takes courage also in organizations to bring out products that maybe have not all the fancy features, but is sufficient enough and solid enough to get early feedback and learn from how it is being used in practice. Right. So that's why this first principle is also the first in DASA, because we do it all for customer delight.
Right. And the second principle that I like is create with the end in mind, products and services thinking, engineering mindset, collaborate.
Yes, because what you see is that in many IT organizations, people have been working on parts of the puzzle and don't feel ownership of the whole. And if you realize that you are more of a product company, the software you are working on is considered a product that is used by end users, then you start realizing, so what is in the end the final state we want to achieve and how to iterate over the qualities. And this product mindset, it also relates to the other DASA principles. That brings a broader scope on what you're doing, and you're not focusing only writing test scripts or writing code, but you're building a product. And this product, which is often part of a whole overall service that companies offer to their customers and clients, is the mindset that helps you to fail fast, to arrive in a culture where you have these short lines and you stay ahead of your competition, basically.
Right. And DevOps Principle 3, I like very much that end-to-end responsibility, live your accountability, concept to grade, performance support.
Yes. This relates to what we just said about product focus. In the past, people were only focusing on a small part and were expert in this. Now you cannot be successful anymore if your product is somehow broken because parts of the puzzle have not been addressed correctly. And in many IT organizations, testers are done when the test scripts have been written, for example, and software developers are done when their code has been committed in GitHub, for example. But in a product company, you're only done when the product is live. So done is live is typically a phrase you hear often in continuous delivery and DevOps circles. But we say done is not live is also not enough. You are only done when it is end of life. And that means that the product, as soon as it has been produced and it's out in the air, people use it, it has customers, it still needs support. And we often say in DevOps world that you don't do DevOps if your developers do not have pagers. And that represents for a kind of culture where you can also be called in the middle of the night when somebody breaks down, or when a user of an iPhone suddenly cannot use his email anymore.
Come on, always on.
And the whole team should feel that responsibility, and if you have an end-to-end responsibility, then you understand that you need not only to put it in production, but maintain it until it is literally brought to the grave or end of life.
Right, understood. And the other one is that cross-functional autonomous team, DevOps principle number 4. Do you talk about T-shaped profiles and complementary skills? Yeah,
that directly relates to being able to have this end-to-end responsibility in building products that have all those features as a team. If you cannot be autonomous from other teams and functions in the organization, then you still have all kinds of connection, interdependencies, and you cannot bring value quickly to your customers. And then you lose the fast feedback loop. So you do need, in the modern world, teams that have all those knowledge and skills in them. And teams, we learned from the IT world, function best if they're, it's called the 2 pizza rule. Amazon brought up this term. 5 to 7 people is plus or minus 2 is the sweet spot. So it's not too big, not too small team, but that means that around 7 people should cover all those aspects, that from ID and business analysis to production and maintenance. And that means that that's what we call T-shaped, that specialists can still be experienced and expert in some aspects, but it's not enough anymore to be just a tester. The function of a tester or release manager or project manager will disappear. People in a DevOps team will focus on all those facets. And they can still specialize in parts of them, but they should be sufficiently all-round, all of them, to replace each other, to build the product together, to know what they're doing as a team. And that's why all kinds of new skills and knowledge areas need to be obtained by those people.
Yeah, it's a real paradigm shift now.
Yes.
Before you're looking just for specialist people, but now you're looking for people that have a specialization, but also have a greater repertoire of skills as well.
Definitely, yeah.
Very exciting.
It's very exciting for many people as well, but also it can be scary.
I can imagine.
Yes.
Yeah. The principle number 5, you talk about continuous improvement. You say if it hurts, do it more often.
Yes.
Experiment, fail fast.
Yes.
So if it hurts, do it more often.
Yeah. That really represents a culture where people address deficiencies and limitations of the team to be even faster and more autonomous and delivering value faster and in a better way. So what you like to establish, and no manager or consulting firm or training organization can establish this, you would like to have the people in the team who take commitment and ownership, hence the previous principles, on the product they deliver to their end customers, who they know and what they need. They need to create a culture where continuous improvement is an integral part of how they work. So people should not hear from an expert or an advisor that they need to release their software twice per day or even faster. They should come up with their own analysis of this is what we do, this is where we spend our time, and these bottlenecks exist. So we want to create more time for thinking of new cool features and bringing out new, delivering value for our customers. Then we need to get rid of all those waste in the processes. And this leads to a kind of culture where people put on their backlog themselves that we need to fully automate the delivery process, or we need to improve the tools and products we use, or we need to change our way of working. And this is very powerful, that people themselves are empowered and also to take responsibility to continue to improve themselves. And for certain things that don't work, they can quickly stand up and try again, like small children, for example. And this is the way people work best. But it's quite disruptive for organizations that have the more Taylorism way of scientific management and organizing in a different way, and not using the skills and the people like that.
So that's the challenge that organizations face, is how
to empower those teams.
People to do
Yes.
those things. Okay. And principle number 6, it's automate everything you can, enhance quality, maximize flow.
Yes. This is actually probably for people that have known all kinds of other DevOps frameworks and lists of principles, the best known one of those 6. We put it deliberately at number 6 because it's very important, but it's not the main driver. The main driver is about bringing value to customers and creating a culture of high performance. But fortunately, IT innovations help us significantly nowadays to speed up things and eliminate waste. So people who have a continuous improvement mindset, principle number 5, they strive for automation, for example in software delivery processes, but also in provisioning, so the new way of doing infrastructure, for example in the cloud. And automate everything you can is literally a principle focusing on searching for suboptimal parts in your whole process and way of working, and tackle them one by one, almost like a sport, to accelerate further as a team, and to generate more time and free slots in your agenda to focus on the real essential tasks. And that's why automation significantly helps building high performance teams. And this is a part that should always be present in each DevOps movement, each DevOps project or transformation. But many DevOps transformations stop by only the automation part and the tool-driven part.
Yeah.
And many IT vendors and tool parties, of course, emphasize this part, but we think it should be only one of the parts. An important accelerator,
Yes.
but not the main goal. The tools or technology should never be the main goal in itself.
Right. So it feels like the DevOps principles are almost like a part of the beating heart of DASA, and then you match it with the competence model, and you look at the way you provide skills and knowledge via the training.
Yes.
It really helps an organization, identify what they need to do and the way in which they
Yes.
need to do it to be
Yes.
successful.
Yeah, they're intertwined. So the principles directly have led to this competence framework. And the competence framework really briefs those 6 principles, and organizations that start a journey with DevOps, and the DevOps in the broader way than just the automation part, like I explained, should focus on meeting those 6 principles or living by those 6 principles. Yeah, that's what we believe in.
Well, wonderful. I want to thank you for sitting down and talking to me about
Yeah.
DASA
You're
DevOps
welcome.
principles. It's really exciting stuff, and I know that it's resonating in the marketplace and with folks that are very interested in DASA.
Definitely, yeah.
So thank you for your time.
You're welcome.